Give me an intro. Hi guys. Say it. Can you wave? Hi guys, Erin and Max here, and welcome back, or if it's your first time to our channel, then welcome to Eat, Move, Rest. So jumping right into today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a pregnancy third trimester update as far as what I'm eating in a day, as well as my natural birth plan. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you'll get notified whenever we put out brand new content here on our channel. So first thing in the morning, I like to make Dusty and I a pre-workout shake. Super simple, just 2 or 2.5 frozen ripe bananas, 2 scoops of Sun Warrior's unflavored Warrior Blend protein, and then I also like to add a couple scoops of the Sun Warrior's Super Greens. And I'll blend that up with a splash of water, split it between the two of us. And then Max has a half frozen banana with some organic soy milk, a couple scoops of Else Nutrition. It's an organic plant-based toddler formula, and he likes to be like mom and dad, so I'll add in the Sun Warrior Super Greens as well. Blend his shake up. Well, cheers, and then we will hit the gym.
You know you gotta set the bar high. Had the same dreams since we was kids. Big trips, big cars, and even bigger cribs. Never thought that it would happen just the way it did. Fast forward that now, it's just the way we live. That's good food and drinks. My mood makes you think that this life's made for a king. The room starts to shake, so smooth if you blink, you might just miss the whole thing. It's just a different way to move in the high life. So many different things to do within the high life. That's good food and drinks. My mood makes you think that this life's made for a king. So many different things to do within the high life.
So I'm now 34 weeks pregnant, which means just about 6 weeks to go until baby's due date on July 1st. And I want to thank Earth Mama for making this entire video possible and sponsoring this video. So I've been an avid user of all things Earth Mama, both this pregnancy and last. And what I love is that they offer a wide range of prenatal and postpartum products, including an amazing tea lineup. So all kinds of herbal teas to help with everything from heartburn and indigestion to early pregnancy morning sickness to just enriching your body with the right balance of vitamins and minerals to make sure that you're staying nourished. So the tea I've been loving right now is the Earth Mama third trimester tea. So this one has everything you need for late pregnancy as far as just like preparing your body for labor. It has the red raspberry leaf in it, as well as like oat straw. It's got chamomile, stinging nettle. So these are all super mineral rich herbs that are great to nourish you and baby and to prepare your body for labor. So this is definitely my favorite right now. I always tend to have it like a little bit after breakfast. So usually what I'll do for Max and Dusty is make some quick cook organic steel cut oats. I'll do 1 cup of that with a couple cups of water. And usually I let that cook up by itself just with a crack of pink Himalayan salt. Then when it's all cooked up, I'll either mash in a banana and a couple dates, or like today when all of our bananas are not quite ripe, I'll add in just extra dates. So I've got 5 pitted medjool dates I'll add in with some cinnamon and a dusting of vanilla bean powder. Whip it all together, and then I will always mix in some kind of nut butter like raw cashew butter because it just bumps up the calories. It's got lots of iron. So you guys know me. I'm doing a green smoothie for breakfast, but I'm gonna do a thick one. It's warm outside and all I want is like super thick cold smoothies. So a couple cups of water, and add a Brazil nut for selenium. First thing I always add in is some healthy fats. This one is gonna have 2 tablespoons of chia. for all of those omega-3s. This is gonna be 2 servings for Dusty and I, and probably a little bit for Max as well. I always add in some type of concentrated greens powder. Today I'm using a little bit of barley grass juice powder for added minerals, protein, iron, all that good stuff. I don't always add protein to these, but worked extra hard this morning in the garage, so I'm gonna add a scoop of vanilla protein. I'm gonna add about a half tablespoon of dulse. So dulse is extremely high in minerals as well, namely iodine, so it's difficult to come by. If you're gonna get it, the best place is from Sea Veggies. So I've started adding it to our smoothies, and the sweet and salty combination is to live for. The more minerals, the better, especially when pregnant. So along with the dulse, I'm also adding in some celery for even more salty kick to go with the sweet kick. Adding in that dino kale. This is literally like a salad in a blender. Adding a couple stalks of celery. Now the good part, I'm gonna add fruit. Add in about a cup of frozen pineapple and another cup of frozen mango. Last but not least, about 3 frozen ripe speckled bananas. So I'm gonna chop up some of these little baby bananas and passion fruit that we got from Miami Fruit, and use them to top our green smoothie bowls.
Everybody tryna go, yeah, the party jumping off, and we putting on a show, tryna catch a vibe. We do this every time, like na 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 na. Feeling like I'm on the highway, cause everything been going my way, and now they looking at me sideways. I'm like na 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 na. This is where I wanna be, na na na. Never ever gonna leave.
This is a mamey sapote from Miami Fruit from our friends in Miami, and it is literally my all-time favorite fruit. It's kind of like a cross between a papaya and a sweet potato. It's super dense, kind of starchy, but if you let it get really soft like this, it turns super sweet. You can make puddings with it, but I like to eat it as is. It's ridiculously high in B vitamins, namely B6. It's super high in B6, which is actually said to combat morning sickness and nausea. So that's a great perk. It's also high in vitamin A, C, E, and a little bit of K in there. And interestingly enough, super high in iron. It's also got quite a bit of magnesium, tons of potassium. So it's just got an amazing nutrient profile. Fruit is life. It's gonna be amazing during pregnancy, like I said. So many perks to this fruit. Perfect for pregnancy and everything in between. So look how pretty. This is actually a pretty small one, but I'll probably eat all of this right now as part of my light lunch. Not really doing lunches lately. I'm just snacking and grazing on fruit. Baked goods, I'll probably make some muffins since I'm due for more of those for this week. So I just like to keep it light with fresh fruits. Quick shout out to my friend Nicole, better known as Nikki Vegan, both on Instagram and on YouTube. We teamed up for this week's video because we both wanted to share our what I eat in a days with a different twist. Mine is obviously 3rd trimester pregnancy. She did a take on what I eat in a day to get back on track. I know you guys are gonna love her channel. She specializes in practical and easy vegan recipes for real life. You guys should definitely go check her out. Her photography, her recipes are out of this world. So I will link her channel and the video below in the description. Okay, you guys, so I thought this would be the perfect quiet time to sit down with you and talk a little bit about how 3rd trimester has been going and what I'm doing in the final weeks and days leading up to labor, how I'm preparing myself mentally and physically, and give you a glimpse into my hopefully as natural as possible birth plan. So kind of like when I delivered Max, I am planning to give birth at the hospital again, but I have been seeing a series of 4 midwives. So I've been rotating between all 4 of them. Whichever one is on call will be the one who delivers baby number 2. And I also have a doula, the same doula that I worked with Max. So feeling good about those options to keep things as natural as possible. The reason why I opted for the hospital instead of the birth center is simply because I feel like it's the best of both worlds. So this hospital is directly affiliated with the birth center actually. So they work very closely together. They're actually a few blocks apart, but I just felt like if there was a chance that something might go wrong and I'd need to be transferred to the hospital from the birth center, I'd rather just be in the hospital than having to do with all that undue stress. So the hospital is very accommodating, unlike many. I know I've heard a lot of horror stories, but they're very accommodating to your wishes, as natural as you want to be. They're totally cool with it, so I don't feel like there's any problem there. So we are planning for a hospital birth. We are not going the home birth route for the same reason as not going to the birth center, because it just seems like it's even one more step removed from safety in case anything were to go wrong. I just don't want something to happen to me or, heaven forbid, baby. So that being said, I'm gonna do things as naturally as permitted and try to avoid as many interventions as possible. So I did take a few notes on my phone, so if you see me glancing over, it's because I'm wanting to make sure I fill you guys in as much as possible on all the details. As far as EatMoveRest goes, you guys are seeing what I'm eating currently. Still moving a bunch, so if you guys want to see how I'm staying fit during my pregnancy and how I stayed fit with Max, so I didn't really have to deal with the bouncing back afterwards, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on how I stay fit during pregnancy. As far as rest, still sleeping great. I highly recommend getting a body pillow so you can sleep optimally on your left side, which is the best for circulation and for baby and blood flow and all of that. So body pillow has helped me tremendously to sleep on my left side throughout the night. The other thing that's really been helping a bunch is magnesium. So I do the Sun Warrior liquid magnesium sometimes. Other times I do a transdermal, which sprays directly on the skin, and I just massage it into my legs. It cuts down on cramps, which I've had just a teeny tiny amount of. It also helps with soreness, muscle recovery, since I am still highly active and working out. And it improves your sleep. So it helps you to get a restful night's sleep, which can be difficult in third trimester. There's a lot of discomfort going on. Baby's moving and kicking like crazy, trying to wake us up in the middle of the night. So all of that being said, feeling pretty solid in all things EatMoveRest. So if you want to see how I stay fit, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to make that video for you guys, show you some of the exercises I'm doing. There's even a program and a website called Spinning Babies that helps you to situate your baby optimally, head down, facing the right direction, all of that stuff, which I am super happy that my midwife says baby is locked and loaded, head down, and the back is kind of curving right here. So I've got a butt up in here, and then it seems like there's little fingers and legs and toes like tickling me and jabbing me all the time on this side of my ribs and this side. So yeah, baby's in a great position, thankfully, and I attribute that to these exercises I've been doing. So the two things I've been doing dietarily, other than just sticking to a wide variety of whole food plant-based foods, is I've been doing 6 dates a day, which they say in third trimester you're supposed to do because it can potentially help with easier labor. So not sure if it's true or not, but I did it with Max too, and I love dates, so it doesn't bother me to eat that many. And the other thing is my herbal teas. So red raspberry leaf tea kind of gets the spotlight, but there are actually a handful of herbs that can help you during pregnancy that are rich in the right minerals and vitamins, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that can kind of help to prep your uterus, tone things, and make labor easier again, and just kind of soothe and calm your spirits. So I've been loving the Earth Mama teas. The third trimester one has been the star for me right now. In the evenings, I love the Peaceful Mama, and in first trimester, I loved the Morning Wellness tea when I was feeling nauseous a lot. There's also one for heartburn, so I love to eat like spicy Indian foods. A lot of times, whether you're eating spicy foods or avoiding trigger foods altogether, you can still fall victim to heartburn when you're pregnant, especially in third trimester, just because baby is pushing things up so much. There's not as much room. So all of the Earth Mama teas have been phenomenal. If you're interested in checking them out, you can use EatMoveRest for a discount, and I will link it below in the description for you guys. Another thing I've been doing to prepare mentally and emotionally is tons of meditation. So my all-time long-standing favorite is Headspace. It's an app on your phone. The other ones I love are Christian Hypnobirthing, which has a lot of spiritual tracks, everything from breathing to mantras and affirmations to Bible verses. It's super soothing. And then one that I just got is called Expectful. So I'll let you guys know what I think of that. If you have any other recommendations, let me know. Just anything to get me in the right headspace. I love all kinds of guided meditations, so totally open to suggestions with that. So let's jump into my birth plan. Number 1, print out several copies of your birth plan, and rather than writing it out, make sure you use little infographics or visuals. Make it as visual as possible with bullet points rather than sentences. Make sure it's only a single page, one side, because chances are labor and delivery can be very hectic, very quick, especially for second-time mamas. So the easier it is for nurses, midwives, doulas, any hospital staff, the easier it is for them to glance and see what it is you do and don't want, the better. So I have it broken down into first stage, second stage, third stage, and this is newborn care once baby is born, and this is newborn care in postpartum. So first stage right here, I have no drugs offered, no active management of labor. So basically that means I don't want an epidural. I'm gonna manage the pain on my own. I have intermittent monitoring, free movement all other times. So if they do decide to connect me to a monitor to check baby's status, heart rate, all of that stuff, I want it to be intermittent, not continuous, so I'm able to free to move. Because one of the worst things you can do is be on your back for a back labor. It's the most convenient for your provider to birth the baby with you, but it's the least convenient for your body because gravity isn't working with you, it's working against you, and you're also compressing your pelvis and you're just not in an optimal position. So it sounds weird, but if you think about how you would go to the bathroom, go number 2, the squatting position is optimal, and the same can be true for birthing a baby. So moving around can help a ton. I put may labor in tub or shower. They do have a bathtub in every room at the hospital. I've heard great things about water births. I'm not totally set on it because I know with Max, I ended up not wanting to get in the tub and there wasn't time anyways, so I'm not totally banking on it. It's not a deal breaker if I do or don't do it. So if you test positive for GBS, which is group beta strep, then they will require that you are connected to an IV to drip IV antibiotics in. So I did test positive with Max, and I got to the hospital so late, I was 9 centimeters, that they didn't even have time to give me the correct dosage of antibiotics, so it didn't really even happen. But this time around, hoping to not have an IV at all. The hep lock is where they just put something into your hand that they can connect an IV to if they need to do it quickly. So the hep lock can be kind of a safety measure, which I'm not 100% opposed to. Free use of food and water. Some hospitals might not want you to eat or drink, but it's totally natural, safe, and fine. So that's good. Minimal cervical checks. Again, just not making me uncomfortable will help a lot with labor. Natural water rupture, again, just letting the body do things in its own natural timing is best. The less interventions, the better. Dim lights and quiet. And then second stage, alternate pushing positions. So I moved around a lot with Max, from like hands and knees to even sitting on the toilet at one point. They had suggested squatting, lying on my side. Husband will coach along with my doula. Ask before extra people enter. There probably won't be anybody else in there. No episiotomy unless a dystocia occurs and natural maneuvers fail. So an episiotomy is where they cut in order to make the hole bigger for baby to come out. Basically, none of that. I have on here dad catches baby, but it'll probably be me unless I'm just not in the right position or mindset. We'll see how it goes, but either me or Dusty will catch baby and determine baby's sex once and for all. Reminders to stop and breathe when crowning. That's something that's important to me because I tore a little bit first time, nothing too crazy, but I would like to try and avoid tearing this time around. Third stage, immediate skin to skin and breastfeeding as soon as possible. So this is basically what I did with Max. And it's pretty cool how the baby will almost army crawl and find their way to the breast, to the nipple, and just start breastfeeding. And immediately that oxytocin, that feel-good love chemical hormone, kicks in, and it is just like the complete 180 in the best way possible after all of the pain and stress from childbirth. Delayed cord clamping, wait until pulsing stops. This is good for the baby to get as much nutrients as possible as well as stem cells, so super vital that you wait until that cord stops pulsing. Physiological birth of placenta, and I have retained placenta on here, so last time we didn't end up keeping the placenta. They did give us the option since it was on the birth plan, but we decided not to. This time I've kind of looked into the placenta encapsulation and just taking it home and blending it into smoothies or cooking it into meals, but I'm kind of steering away from it again. I'm not entirely sure if it seems like I even needed it. I've heard it can help with postpartum depression and blues and even restoring your iron levels, but I didn't really have any issues with any of that. So let me know in the comments what your guys' experience has been, if you have saved your placenta and used it dietarily to replenish your stores, or what has helped, or maybe how it maybe hindered you. No Pitocin. So Pitocin is basically the synthetic form of oxytocin, which your body naturally releases oxytocin. So there really isn't a reason for the synthetic unless you are hemorrhaging. That's when they could possibly use it. If you're bleeding a lot, it can help to stop the bleeding, help to close that wound where the placenta detached and all of that kind of stuff. But again, your body should be able to release its own oxytocin, which is definitely optimal, especially when it comes to postpartum and breastfeeding and all of that. The more natural hormone release, the better, because if you're putting synthetic hormones into your body, it can actually stop your body from producing more of its own. Do not clean off, vernix, or aspirate face. So this is important because there are a lot of beneficial bacteria, flora from the vaginal tract and just from the mother's body in general, and you want to keep that intact on baby's skin because it's hugely important for their immune systems. We didn't give Max an official bath for I think 2 weeks, and it might seem a little weird, but trust me, it's not. It's not as gross as you think, and honestly, it's for their benefit. Newborn care, I'll run through really quick. Exams, prints, etc. on mom's chest. Weight taken after golden hour. So golden hour is that first hour, the first moments with your baby. So no interruption during that time period is going to be the best for everybody. And then no vitamin K and no Hep B. These are just injections. Vitamin K is for brain bleeds and things like that. As long as baby's birth isn't a traumatic birth, we are not going to do the vitamin K this time. We did do it with Max. So if there was trauma or bleeding, or if you were going to get baby circumcised, those might be reasons to use vitamin K, but we are foregoing it. No eye ointment. It's actually an antibiotic for the eye. We're going to forego that. No circumcision, no bath, like I said, and then newborn care and postpartum. We're wanting it to be done in the room as much as possible. If baby has to leave, then dad comes with. No formula, no sugar water, no pacifiers, so strictly breastfeeding. Something else I've been absolutely loving, like the one book I would recommend. I know Ina May Gaskin is amazing, so if you haven't checked her out, check her out. I listened to some of her Audible books as well as Orgasmic Birth during my first pregnancy, but this time I wanted something new and fresh. I found Mama Natural. So her book is incredible. It takes you week by week through your bodily changes, emotional, mental changes, and how you should be preparing each week as well. She also has an accompanying recipe book with helpful recipes, and I've absolutely enjoyed it so much. One thing I found helpful that she said when it comes to interventions, especially if you're gonna do a hospital birth or even a birth center, but especially at hospitals. Most hospitals specialize in intervention. That's just how Western medicine is, but you want to remember to use your brain. So BRAIN. If they ask you if you want anything, say, do you want an epidural? You say, what are the benefits? That's B. R, what are the risks? A, are there alternatives? I, what is your intuition telling you? And N, do you want to do nothing? What will happen if you do nothing? So use your brain before making decisions about interventions. I know it can be stressful in the heat of the moment, but that's where having a ideal birth plan comes in. There's no such thing as a plan ultimately because things can go crazy wrong, but it's good to kind of focus on the positive and visualize and meditate on the way you see your birth going. It can really help. The mental game is hugely important. So get a birth plan, keep it simple. The other thing that I found really helpful was on the Mama Natural website. So she had suggestions as to what to pack for your hospital bag. So I kind of made a printout spreadsheet for that. There's tons of stuff on it. I've got stuff broken down into categories. So food and drink, things for the new baby, things for mom, for dad, for Max, because Max will be staying the night with us at the hospital. So that's in there too. Extras, things like the iPad, a gift for baby, and a gift for Max. Oh, let's see what else. We have camera, batteries, memory cards, chargers, all that kind of stuff. And then things for bringing back home that we want to make sure we have on hand, like newborn diapers, absorbent pads, a rapid read thermometer, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys have any suggestions for like something I might not think that might be hugely important to put in my hospital bag, definitely comment below. You guys help me so much with all this kind of stuff. I feel like even though I've been through this process before, a lot of it feels new just because, you know, I've gone through it all, but then when you're done and you don't have a reason to really like think about it every day. So it kind of feels new in a way. So also let me know, I'm kind of thinking about trying to visualize what position I see myself in for actually birthing baby during delivery. So like I said, I don't want to be lying on my back. I'm wondering if squatting or hands and knees or on my side, just kind of trying to figure out what might feel the most comfortable. Share with me what worked for you guys. So I know this has been a lot, but one last thing that has totally helped has been, you can probably find things like this on Google. My doula gave me this checklist for me to go over with Dusty. So this is ways of handling pain, and I basically check off like which ones appeal to me or which ones I think I'm prone to. So I have like closing my eyes, crying, massage, screaming, I'm very vocal, seek comfort, support, calm music or maybe silence, changing positions, walk it off, relax, back rub, dress comfortably, vocalize, possibly the birth tub, and image of a special place. So definitely helpful to kind of know your ways of handling pain so that other people can be made aware, especially your spouse and anyone else helping with your labor and delivery, but it also helps you to know yourself better so you don't catch yourself off guard.
So I just used about a half can of thick coconut cream with a little bit of soy milk, some garlic powder, salt, and nooch, and blended it up, and it made a really tasty cheese sauce we put on top of some chickpea noodles for Max.
So this is usually me and Maxie's specialty. We usually bake together, but he's busy eating because he just woke up from a late nap. But I am making some muffins, not just any muffins. This is one of our new favorites. They are peanut butter and chocolate banana muffins. So it can also be made into a banana bread loaf. It's the best of every flavor under the sun. So for your peanut butter chocolate banana bread or banana bread muffins, you're gonna need 2.5 cups of rolled oats blended finely into a flour, 4 super ripe bananas like banana bread dark brown. You're gonna need 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, and you're gonna mix that with 6 tablespoons of water to make your chia egg. We're gonna need 7 pitted medjool dates. You'll wanna soak those. If they're super dry, soak them for at least 20 minutes in warm water. Then we're gonna blend them with just a splash of water to make a date paste. You're gonna need 1/3 cup of cacao powder, another 1/3 cup of peanut butter. Try to find oil and salt-free, just peanuts is the only ingredient. 3/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Okay, so we've got a giant mixing bowl for our dry ingredients, another one for our wet. We're gonna put all of our powdery dry ingredients together and whisk those together. Same thing, mix all of our wet ingredients together, then we're gonna pour the wets into the dry, Mix it really good, pop them in our muffin tray. Pop your muffins into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. You'll want to check it by poking a toothpick into the middle of one. If it comes out dry and clean, then you are good to go. So we just finished our group Patreon Zoom chat for the month. So if you guys haven't already, definitely check out and join our inner circle on Patreon. That's linked in the description. But while we were chatting, our muffins were baking away. Maxie already enjoyed one. These are awesome. I will say they have tons of ingredients like oats and chia that are great for lactation and cacao as well. They're also amazing for pregnancy because they're high in protein, iron, and healthy fats. Most importantly, they're amazingly good. So we are just taking a few minutes to decompress after a long day before we make dinner. Having some throat smoothie along with some Peaceful Mama. I love to make it iced and just sip on a big old thing when it's warm out. Maxie likes it too. What'd you find? So these long summer days that are hot and muggy and we're out working in the yard till the end of the day have got us super drained, on top of that being in 3rd trimester. You guys know how it goes. That being said, we're gonna make one of our quick and easy favorites. We're gonna make homemade Chipotle burrito bowls. It's really easy, but it turns out looking and tasting super gourmet and we love it. So the main components are gonna be rinsing some fresh market greens to put everything on, and then we're gonna cook up some brown rice. We cooked some black beans that we soaked overnight. We're gonna make some salsa and some corn, and some peppers, what else? And guacamole, of course. Like once a week, we used to have a Chipotle date night. It was every Thursday night before our marriage prep classes, but we don't eat there so much anymore because it tends to trigger heartburn for us. It's a little too greasy, even though other than that, it's amazing. So we like to make it at home, and it's oil-free and still tastes amazing. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day and pregnancy birth plan update, give it a thumbs up. Like always, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already joined the EatMoveRest fam. Make sure that bell is clicked to turn on notifications. Leave us some love in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. I love to hear from other mamas. And remember to check out Nikki Vegan and her What I Eat in a Day video below. A huge shout out and thank you to Earth Mama for nourishing me and baby and making tea so enjoyable. Until next time, eat, move, rest, your best. Bye guys. There are 3 things we all do every day and we could all be doing them better. Eat, move, and rest.
We're Dusty, Erin, Max, and Bo, and we're the Stanzics.
Join us every week as we blend, chop, juice, run, lift, ride, and master our minds on the ultimate quest to find better balance, deeper connection, and true happiness within.